Athletes, good morning. Doc Brown, Marty McFlyer here. Back to the future. We got Katie, we got TJ, we got fitness coming your way, so get set. Athletes, our warm-up is starting now. We've got 10 seconds, so we are gonna go to the place we are doing our rows. I'm gonna have Katie moving to her band and TJ moving to one dumbbell. Starting in 3, 2, 1, and go. Both athletes are getting into the position for this bent over row. We wanna make sure that when we move in, we are gonna push our hips back so we load into our hamstrings and our posterior chain. Katie is using a band and she can adjust this tension by spreading her feet out or choking up on that band just a little bit. Whatever she feels is gonna add a challenge to this workout, but still be possible throughout. TJ is using a crush grip for his warm up right now. He's using one dumbbell on either side of that dumbbell, pulling back. Both athletes making sure they're pulling with their elbows. We wanna make sure that we avoid the incorrect positioning of our T-Rex pull. So if we go like this, you feel no back activation and it's only elbows bending, that's no good. The dinosaurs were back in the future, back in the past. So we wanna make sure we leave them there and we want good reps here. I'm gonna have athletes rest. The next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna move into our push-ups. So I'm gonna have TJ move to the floor and start on hand release push-ups. Katie's gonna show us a couple variations. She's allowed to do push-ups on the floor regularly. She's gonna go down touching her chest to the floor and coming back up. We can go knee push-ups, so she's gonna put her knees on the floor and lower down, pressing up. And then our other variation is gonna be in a box. So Katie's gonna pick the variation that she feels like she can maintain throughout this workout with good form. If you guys can start out with a harder variation and then you wanna go down to that easier version, you're more than welcome to. But we wanna make sure that we are getting consistent reps and most importantly, going through that intended range of motion all the way through this workout. We're gonna go ahead and relax. I'm gonna have athletes stand up and now we're going into air squats. So what's gonna happen here is that we're gonna stance ourselves out a little bit wider than shoulder width and athletes are gonna start squatting, focusing on making sure that knees stay out. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm gonna have TJ turn towards the camera just a little bit more. And he's gonna push those knees out towards my hand when he squats. If you look at where his toes are pointing, we want that knee to be in line with his toes. If you feel as though those knees are starting to dip in, there's two cues we can do. Think about knees out and also grip the floor with your feet. That automatically keeps your lower body active and puts you in a good position. With Katie, you can see that she's keeping that chest up and even thinking about taking a breath with each squat because that will keep you on pace. No holding your breath. It's not good for anyone. We're gonna go ahead and relax here. I'm gonna have athletes move back into their bent over rows one more time for me. This time TJ's gonna grab both dumbbells. Katie's gonna grab her band again. I'm gonna do a tempo row on this one just to make sure we're nice and warmed up. So we are gonna bend over, we're gonna pull, and then we're gonna lower down for a count to 2 to 3. You guys can pick that, but I really wanna make sure you feel that activation in your back. Again, we are not leaning straight over and we are not squatting down into this position. We wanna make sure that we feel this in our hamstrings when we're in this position, not exclusively our low back. We got one more rep. We are going to relax, put that equipment down. It's time to warm up the DeLorean. The fitness is coming up next. Athletes, your workout is starting now. We've got 10 seconds on the clock. We are starting with those banded bent over rows or your dumbbell bent over rows in 3, 2, 1, go. Athletes are gonna be going 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 on these rows and our push-ups, and then we double the reps we just did when we get into our air squats. This workout is done for time, but we are also looking for quality throughout. So I don't want you guys to get to a place in the beginning where you're going so fast that we cannot maintain that pace throughout. Now, this is Katie's first time filming with us, and as always, we always like to encourage a little friendly competition. TJ is sneaking ahead in this first round, but athletes are gonna do all their reps. Make sure that you're counting those if you guys are doing this at home, because if anybody doesn't do their required number of reps, TJ will send you an autographed, personalized picture of himself. So next, athletes are moving back to our bent over rows. Again, these bent over rows, make sure you're using proper stance here. I want you to make sure we feel this in our hamstrings when we load, and then we feel that in our back as we do the row itself. TJ's back into his push-ups. Katie is moving back to her box. On our push-ups, we can get to a place where we're going so fast that we're not touching chest to ground. It's more like belly button to ground or it's hips to ground. I need you guys all the way down. If you guys are doing the version that Katie's got on the box, we want to make sure that we make contact with that lower portion of our sternum and the box when we go down. When we use an object that we're gonna use to stabilize or make this movement a little bit different in terms of the range of motion, make sure it can support our body weight. So with the box that we have, we know that it's on a floor, it's not gonna slide. Make sure if you guys are using a chair or anything at home, it's braced against something so it's not gonna move on you. Athletes are onto the second set of squats. Now again, today's workout is for time, but I wanna see quality throughout. So I want you guys to make sure as we're going through, when we get to these bigger numbers, it is okay to set the dumbbells down or to rest on the push-ups. We're not expecting you to go unbroken all the way through. If you try to challenge yourself to do that, those reps better be perfect from the first one to the last one. TJ is onto these push-ups, making sure chest is touching the floor and getting full extension at the top. Katie repositioned herself with her upper body, which was a fantastic choice to do. We're making sure that if we get up too high, we're not gonna get the right angle on that pull, and it's gonna turn more into a bicep movement again. Both elbows are going back. We're retracting those shoulder blades at the top. TJ is back onto these air squats. On your air squats, this is gonna be the one movement in here that you can really try to get some active recovery. So we're focusing on taking a nice deep breath at the top, squatting, and then breathing out on the way up. If you don't know how to breathe when you're working out, all you gotta remember is wherever the hard part of the motion is that's where you're gonna breathe out. Now, if you tell me everything about a push-up is hard, it's easier to go down to the floor than it is to get off the floor. So you're gonna breathe out when you press. When we're doing our banded bent over rows or our dumbbell rows, we're gonna breathe out when we pull, and then when we squat, you can always squat down, but sometimes you can't stand back up if those legs are toasted. Always breathe out on the way up. Breathing in terms of your reps, so if we think about pacing our reps off of our breathing, is gonna keep you steady here. If you start doing more reps than what you're breathing with and you start holding your breath, that's where the train is gonna crash. And that is a reference to Back to the Future 3, because I'm gonna try to fit as many of those in as I can. Arguably the worst of the three movies, but that's just my opinion. We've got TJ back into his bent over rows. We've got Katie keeping a fantastic pace on these squats. I'm gonna make sure that heels are staying on the floor. We're keeping those knees out. And of course, we are still breathing. TJ's back onto his push-ups. Now, if you're like me, it can be difficult to keep track of my reps in a workout, especially when numbers are changing between movements. So if you got a whiteboard, you got a piece of paper, keep that close by so you can mark these off as you go through. When we get into our push-ups, I don't want to see you guys resting at the top of the push-up. If you have to rest, get back onto your knees, get off your arms, shake those out, and then go back into the push-up and think about fast, quick sets. For our dumbbell or a banded bent over row, we're gonna set that down for just a second, shake the arms out, do a couple arm tosses, give yourself a hug in the workout to get yourself opened up, and then go right back into it. For our air squats, there's really no rest position there. It's either standing or staying at the bottom of your squat. But think about pacing yourself there. I don't want you guys to rush the air squats so quickly that we miss below parallel or we end in this position, because let's be honest, this is not full extension. I know this, you know this, the guy behind the camera knows this, so we want to see you guys getting full extension at the top. If you need to give yourself a personal cue to get full extension, think about getting your chest high at the top of your squat, and that gets your hips open. No overextension needed. So if we're doing this and we're getting into the Ed Grimley stance, we don't need that. Just think about squeezing those glutes, get to the top, and that is our full rep. Both athletes are moving at a very steady pace. The thing I love that I see here and I see at home is that you guys are keeping yourself paced with what you started with, and we want to see that all the way through the workout. When we do workouts that have an ascending rep scheme, not only is that physically challenging, but it's mentally challenging, because you start out and you're like, this is the easiest workout I've ever done. And then it doubles, and then it triples, and then it quadruples. So we've got to stay with what's in front of us, and we think about that next rep that we have to complete, and just think about that all the way through this workout. TJ's doing a fantastic job of keeping himself loaded in his posterior chain and really retracting those shoulder blades as we pull back. If you can't quite get the positioning with those bent over rows, we can think about bringing those dumbbells back to our hips rather than bringing them up to our chest. Don't drop your dumbbells, safety first, always remember. That's gonna take a rep off of TJ's next set, so we'll throw that penalty rep in there. We've got Katie working through these air squats. She's doing a fantastic job of keeping knees out and chest up at the top. She's doing the hands on hip method, which you guys can implement any type that you like. If you want to take your hands, put them behind your head, you're more than welcome to. That will add a little bit of a mobility challenge, but please make sure if you do that, we're not cranking down on our head because we don't want to injure ourselves while we're doing some air squats. TJ took a quick rest and he's back into his push-ups. Again, these reps really add up. Ascending rep schemes, everybody loves descending rep schemes. Nobody loves ascending rep schemes, but ascending rep schemes are what make you better. Everything and every effort that you give us is making you better, but ascending rep schemes, those are the secret. They make you mentally tough as well as physically tough. We've got Katie going through these final squats. Now Katie does have tighter hips, so with this you'll notice that she takes some breaks there to kind of stretch out. You guys can do what you want there. We don't want you to push yourself to a point of pain in terms of hurt pain. So if we need to take that second to rest, there's no shame in resting. Take that strategic rest, get yourself right back into those reps that you were completing. TJ's implementing the arm swing at the bottom to get a little bit momentum out of his air squat, which is completely fine. That is completely legal. We've got Katie going into these bent over rows. I'm gonna challenge her to make sure that we're pulling back with our shoulder blades as we row. If our shoulders stay in place when we pull, it puts us into an impinged position, which we want to avoid. So we always want to make sure we're pretending like I'm at home with you because I'm right here in your ear and I've got my finger on your back and you're trying to pinch my finger with your shoulder blades. That's what we're looking for. That's how we get that retraction in your back. Again, the dinosaurs died out a long time ago. So if I see your T-Rex arms, or I even call it sassy kitten, no sassy kittens today. Save it for after the workout. I need you guys to focus on the muscle groups that we are trying to work on for this. So we've got our back that we're activating with those nice strong pulls. TJ is moving back to his dumbbells. It's too light? Oh, he's done. He's done. Okay. So TJ's finished. TJ's finished. I hope there's no autographed pictures of TJ going out, but we're gonna go back. We'll review the footage. Oh, it's shirtless. Nice. You're gonna have to put sunglasses on to look at it because it will be very bright, very bright. We've got Katie finishing up with her push-ups, and then she's gonna move into air squats again. Now, I know you guys are still moving at home. TJ went through this workout at a pretty fast clip. We always encourage you guys to go all the way through all your reps. If we finish in the studio, we don't want you finishing early. You need to get all the volume in because that's how you're gonna get better. Your fitness journey is your own. So if you think about it, TJ started when he was just a young, lowly gym rat, working out, doing curls in the corner, and then he found Mayhem Athlete. Watch out for that box. And then he's progressed, and it's the same thing wherever you're at. If you've just started this, or even if you've been doing this for a while, but these movements are challenging for you, this is an opportunity to get better. So always think about it. If you're not finishing first on the leaderboard or the workout scores, that is completely okay. We're focused on being better than when we walked into our gym or our garage or wherever we are working out. So keep that in the forefront of your mind. Katie's finishing up with our push-ups, and we are back into, give it up for her. We are back into our air squats. So with our air squats, again, when you guys are getting into your final sets here, focus on that breathing. I know you want to speed up because you're almost done, but we have to maintain that form. I am so much happier with good form than I am with intensity, and then everything's falling off the tracks. So we got to make sure we're hitting full range of motion. We're getting full advantage of the exercise that we are doing, below parallel, and full extension at the top. We got Katie. Taylor Swift is playing in her head right now. She's got her motivation going. She's getting all the way through these reps. Can't even crack her with any comments that we give. Keep working through it, Katie. Fantastic job. Getting full extension at the top. And again, making sure that we're keeping those knees out in that strong position. If you guys missed it earlier, if you find that your knees are collapsing, grab that floor with your feet, and that's gonna help you stay active as you go through your full range of motion here. Good job, Katie. Keep it moving. Everybody at home, keep it moving. We're on those final sets here, so I want you guys to stick with it. Stay steady. All the way through to the finish line. There we go, Katie. If you guys are finished with this workout, keep moving around. Shake yourself out, shake those arms out, move those legs just a little bit. We don't want those quads tightening up on you. We're going all the way through to our final set of 50 air squats. You guys have done a lot of air squats today. That is a very, very large volume, so you should be proud of the effort that you're putting in right now. And that is it. We are done. Fantastic job, TJ. Great job. Great job, Katie. Great job, athletes at home. If you are still working, keep going. Don't stop. Get all the way into your final reps of those squats. Get all the fitness in you can. We are so thankful that you guys showed up with us today. Your cool down is coming up next. Athletes, fantastic job on today's workout. We are so happy that you showed up once again and you threw down on the fitness. Now, if you loved what you did today and you're not a part of the Mayhem Athlete community, why not? The workout that we did today is in our library, and we've got tons of other just like this, and we've got tons that aren't like this. Whatever your goals are, whether it's functional fitness, bodybuilding, CrossFit, working out on the road, working out when you're traveling in a hotel, wherever you're at, if you're at your parents' house, at your in-laws' house, at your friend's house, we've got workouts with equipment, without equipment to get you to a better you. Whether you just want to be a fitter version of yourself every day or you want to make it all the way to the competition floor, Mayhem Athlete has the programming for you. So join us today. Now, this is the serious portion. You know I always get serious here. Katie doesn't know I get serious in this portion, but I always do. The cool down's here. Please take care of your body because it just took care of you. As always, be good, be kind, and join us again for another great day of fitness.